to that hole. And it just got bigger and bigger. And in no time had passed. And there was nothing left of me but that hole. I think you'll understand better if you read my letters.
Hi there. Welcome to Mona's. What can I get you today?
Oh, nothing for now.
Okay.
Actually, can I get a vanilla rooibos green tea?
We stopped serving those like 5 years ago. Have you been here before?
No, it's my first time. Actually, my parents met at this cafe a long time ago. That was her order, apparently. My dad, she wouldn't give him her name, so he just called her Vanilla Rooibos for a while. I don't know, it's what I remember.
You definitely made that up. Too many Nicholas Sparks novels keeping you up at night?
No, I didn't. Seriously, my parents, they knew the owner of this place. Mona was his wife's name.
It's his wife. And the name of his skeptical daughter who's been told more than once that sounds like a stripper's name. I'm Mona. Nice to meet you.
Ah, charming. Robil. Rob. Call me Rob. Dear Mona, the first time we met, you accused me of being a cliche. And I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but you, my dear, were the biggest cliche of all. I bet you're still wearing that Led Zeppelin t-shirt underneath your apron as you read this.
You had enough albums to stock every HMV and dinky little indie record store in the country. And what's more, you had enough opinions to fill every pretentious music blog that you refused to read. But it helped. The songs you sent me, it helped with the no sleeping thing.
Visiting you at that cliche cafe of ours was like my happy place. I have a library of all of our conversations in my mind, and I play them over and over in my head like I would read my favorite book. I mean, I still remember when I first told you that I was a
medical student? You're kidding. When you first came in here with that little story of yours about your parents, I thought you were a starving poet or the lead guitarist of some folk band at the very least.
I remember when you first asked me about my...
So why don't you come in here with your parents more often? Seems like my family should be making more profit off the movie scene meeting spot of a couple of middle-aged ex-romantics. If you're divorced or something like that, I'll probably put my foot in my mouth and feel like a real asshole.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I guess it's kind of life, right? I mean, we've all got our little messed up backstories, and we're probably all a little less than we want to be or could be, right? We're all just making it up as we go along.
I can never fully express to you just how much you changed my life. I mean, when you first meet someone that you can really talk to, you're so surprised by the words that you say. They sound uncomfortable in your mouth. All wrong. It's like they're just rusty, and it's because they've been hidden somewhere in the back of your mind for far too long.
Rob, I need to say something, and I need you to listen this time. I know what I am to you. I'm like air, you know? So necessary, but so unnoticed. Is it enough? No, not for me. I've been unfortunate enough to fall for you. And of all the talks we've had of cliches, I know I'm the biggest cliche of all, right? I mean, look at our story. We met at this cafe, Mona's Cafe, and if we end up together, it'll all be validated somehow, right? Your brother, your family.
off, don't think twice. It's all right.
Mona, you fucking incredible girl. Don't think twice. It's all right.
My name is Leanne Sampson Sires, and I know I'm not actually especially beautiful when you get a good, real, hard look at me. But I'm just so unexpectedly charming, it's impossible to tell the difference. There's something flirtatious or irresistible about the way that I talk, the way that I walk, the way that I smile at that poor old bum on the street.
Dear Leanne, when I first read your book, The Unbridled Passions of Leanne Sampson Sires, I was sure it was going to be some kind of erotica meant for women.
Now, I'm not in the business of denying myself the simple pleasure of speaking the truth. So, here it is. I am your dream girl. Yep, that's right, dear readers. My eyes are big enough and my laugh is girlish enough for me to have that innocent, naive air that silly, stupid boys need to feel like real men.
And like all the characters in your book, I just found myself wanting you in ways that are more than a little bit embarrassing, given that you don't even exist except for in my mind.
I've also got that, that extra bat of the eyelashes, or I'll do that thing where I'll rest my hand on your arm for just a moment too long. I'm a tease, and something tells me it's not quite accidental.
Your most attractive quality is your honesty.
There's not a boy or a man or a guy or a gentleman who hasn't wondered what it would be like to put his strong arms around my cheeky, sexy waist, or who hasn't wondered what it would feel like for me to whisper all my secrets in his ear, or who hasn't thought, my, oh my, that Leanne, she probably thinks the deepest, darkest thoughts. I could watch her lovely little lips form words for the rest of my days.
Actually, I take that back. Your most attractive quality is your hypocrisy.
Well, darling readers, here's one secret that I will share with you.
I mean, for all your talk of being ruthlessly honest, you can never admit to yourself that there was something missing.
In the mornings, long before I'm fully awake, I feel this yearning that's so bitter and so deep that it just yanks me from a sleep swept clean of dreams. I feel guilty to be needing something more. I mean, there are so many people that are so hopelessly boring. Maybe one day, if they're lucky, they'll find someone who thinks they're interesting or special.
I've been told that my favorite book is a chick book.
And me, I mean, I'm endlessly fascinating. People tell me I'm brilliant and talented and a little more than meets the only eyes.
Then again, it was a chick who gave me this book.
Every once in a while, it's gonna take the hold of me, this feeling that I just can't shake.
A work of fiction is a story that apparently isn't true. Yet every awkward word, every unsaid word, every unconventional occurrence and unfinished story, it's all the strange yet familiar braid of someone's reality. And in between it all, it's got to be everyone's reality. So maybe a work of fiction isn't as untrue as we say it is.
I often feel I'm not worthy of this body. I mean, the human heart creates enough pressure to squirt blood 30 feet. I mean, stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve razor blades. A human head remains conscious for 20 whole seconds once it's been decapitated. I have spent my whole life really, truly marveling at the miracle that I am. Brain and nerve and pounding heart. Maybe I should have known that was wrong.
There's nothing quite like the weirdly nostalgic feeling of finishing your favorite book for the first time. You feel so small and insignificant compared to that story in all those words. You find yourself craving things that you never knew you could experience before. And you start to wonder whether or not the novel you just read is the true reality, and you're just the story in someone else's book.
I mean, when you think about it, this body has given me the most extraordinary experiences. Euphoria, fear, running. Like I'm gasping for breath, but somehow taking flight. Like the red balloon in the children's book. Or dreaming so vividly that at restless hours of the night, I feel cold when I realize that the warmth of the body next to me was just a dream that now feels like a nightmare. Laughter, eating cheesecake, sex. I mean, sex is like, it's like you're in your body, but you're outside your body and your toes just curl under. Love, heartache.
Leanne, Samson, Cyrus.
I can't shake the frightening, yet somehow addictive thought that with one silly movement, it could all be gone. Instantly.
Don't ever change. Although, I know you never will.
Dear Al,
Dear Celeste,
I'm not great with words. I can't put them together and take them apart the way that you can. But I guess words are all I have left to say a few last things before it's too late.
this is not a letter, but my arms wrapped around you for a brief moment in time.
We had some big love affair and it didn't work out. But somewhere in the middle, my gosh, we tried.
I spent so much time writing short stories that I didn't even realize were about you. I mean, I laughed sometimes, I slept sometimes, I got extravagantly drunk sometimes, and sometimes when it was really, really late and everyone else was dreaming, I wondered where you were, but then I realized that you can never be too far away from me. And then you fell out of love with me. Like, you fell out of love with me like the rain falls. Slowly, and then all at once. It feels like an apocalypse or something, like the whole world washed away in an eternal thunderstorm.
There are a lot of reasons for why it didn't work. You're a liar and you always took me for granted. And you couldn't keep a promise to save your life. But in the end, I forgave you for all that. I understood. Your parents, your brother, all those complications that I didn't really have messed you up in ways that I still don't exactly understand.
We were once so close that your skin was my skin, that your memories were my memories, that your hand on my knee was my hand. And when you inhaled, I sighed in relief. But now you're somewhere else. You're someone else. And I feel unclothed and frightened and blind. The world is unbalanced. I can feel it all around me. Nothing is as it should be.
There is just something fundamentally different about the way we saw the world. To me, every problem can be solved with enough logic and resilience. I make lists, I have goals, and I have steps that I take. And I realize that I've done too much for you. And the only next possible step is to stop.
There are words that people use to describe you. You know, hardworking, acquired humor, excellent memory, very kind. But no one will ever see you the way I can. I find comfort in the things that can't be defined. And I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling just to get the words out right now. All I can hope is that you never change. But I suppose you already have. And I just feel so heavy with the memory of you who used to be. I carry you around like a locket up my sleeve, like an orange and red life jacket just being crushed with boulders.
To you, everything was a mess. And you liked it that way. And you only wanted it messier. It was so overwhelming. You
You were a constant in my world. You were the sunlight that peeked through my blinds in the morning and opened my eyes. You were the moon that kept me safe in the darkness. You were the constellation that guided me home at night and made me feel like I belong. God, this feels so incredibly lame, but I can't describe it any other way. There are so many girls who think that I'm a concept, or I complete them, or I make them feel something, but you made my brain quiet. I didn't have to invent a thing.
I guess I really never gave you enough credit for how much you actually understood me, or how much you really cared.
There are those that bring out the worst in us, and then there are those that bring out the best in us, and then there are the ones that bring out the most. I brought out the most in you. I made you feel so alive that you followed me around like an addict, into the light and then into the darkness. No one will ever set you on fire and watch you burn like a flaming star the way I did.
We just never got the timing right, did we?
There. I've come to believe that if you can love someone with your whole heart, extraordinarily and unconditionally, then even if they can't be with you, there is salvation in life.
I'll be fine. I'll put one foot in front of the other. I'll curse and I'll cry. But God damn it, I will refuse to let it get to me. I'll meet someone new, and that'll be it.
There's a voice in my head that tells me all the reasons why I should hate you. But I only hate myself. You know what? Maybe one day I'll just settle for second best, and then hell will freeze over, and then the moon will rise in the morning, and the sun will blind us at night, and who is the stranger that you found to hold your hand that you think can give you everything I could?
Just know that there will always be a part of me that belongs to you.
Perhaps the most remarkable thing about the human body is its ability to cope with pain. It's not what they taught us in medical school, but I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Maybe someday, right?
I mean, there's sleep. It's kind of a temporary relief. Sometimes it's your only escape. And sleep means that time has passed, and you're able to distance yourself from the thing that just hurts so much. And for that one moment when you wake up, you're not thinking about what happened.
Or maybe in another life.
And then there's forgetting. I mean, people say that time heals all wounds. Fuck that. Time heals most wounds. And some thoughts and memories just need to be captured and hidden behind several doors of the subconscious, lost somewhere between binge drinking and rebound relationships and a carefully controlled mind.
I haven't forgotten your last words.
Maybe in another life, you said. Sometimes neither sleep nor forgetting are possible or even barely sufficient. And then there's insanity. When reality feels like a creature that unashamedly flings your insides out into the world, and there's nothing left inside your body except for your heart. Your heart, which just beats steadily and echoes across the walls of your mind at 3 a.m. in the morning when all you hear is the deafening sound of a ticking clock. All you have left is your madness. I mean, you're not necessarily happy, but at least you can breathe. And then there was death. Death. that final escape, where no one can hurt you. Or at least that's what they've told us.
Don't you let me become a ghost. Love always.
Robin.